There you go. My name is Tracy Martin and I work for ONLC, and today we're going to make leather moccasins with a fur trim. So today I chose buffalo leather and rabbit fur. In the package, the mail, you'll receive the actual moccasin kit. It explains for the conference. And then on the second page is the instructions. So in the kit you will have received fleece mittens sewn for one for each side, left and right. Then leather, there's 3 pieces per mitten, the inside and the outside, so left and right. And then I cut them to where they're very minimal on the edge, so you can have a choice between what side you want for the outside, which is considered the good side. And it's all preference to me. I prefer usually the shiny side, so because I usually do the designs after. And basically 3 sides per mitt. And then also in the kit you will receive sinew, which will be sewing the edges. Then you also received a thumb thimble. These are cool because it helps pull the needle. And you also have received a size 5 Glover needle for the sewing. And then inside also is your rabbit fur. Later you'll need an X-Acto knife to cut the line for the trim. And it's better to use a X-Acto knife, so it'll be less for cut versus using the scissors. Less mess. So, the first step, we'll just put one mitten to the side. So the first part is to do with the sinew. It's one huge piece, but you have to split it into 4, and it comes apart fairly easy. So you basically, I find it easier to split it in the halfway down the middle, and then usually you can see it breaking apart into 4 little pieces. And if it doesn't work right at the top, because sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, you can look at the bottom here, further down, and split it that way, and then sometimes it'll just naturally split. And this is, I would say, one of the most hardest, I guess, because sometimes it works and sometimes. And then it's easiest if you just want one right now, just to get it out of the way, then you can work on the other ones. And it'll work out to be basically 2 strips per glove, per side. And I also find sometimes just twisting it will help easier break it apart. So you just kind of wrap that up over your hand, so you know you can have it ready. You can keep it loosely, or you can just kind of tap it together, because you'll feel it's kind of tacky. And you can just put it in the bag so you know what it is. You'll know where it is. Okay. Okay, now since they're separated, you're just gonna circle them so you can know that they're separated. And again, if they're feeling like they're a little frayed at the ends, just use your fingers and slide, and they'll go back together. And then wrap around your hand. Okay. Number 2. Number 3, let's go this one. And I try to give everybody an acceptable amount. So so there would be no lack of. Okay, so now, yeah, time to thread this in. I also gave you a needle threader, if you needed one. If not, just insert this in you. And the difference between regular needles and Glover needles is that a Glover needle has about a 1/2 inch of a 3-edged side, so it's pretty sharp. And then it is to match the other end to find the middle. Are you okay? Find the ends, and then you make a knot, and then eventually you'll pull it to where it's in the middle. Now you can also do the end like that, or you can make sure it is even in the middle first. And then you take the end and you put it, the tail end facing to the left, put the needle across your finger. Then you take the same end, so it's like this, and then you wrap it around the needle 2 times or 3, and then let it go, and then you grab the needle, don't stab yourself, and then pull. You're supposed to hold on to it and pull it down to the end. So if you go wrap 1, 2, 3, like that. Hold onto the area, and then you just pull. It's gonna work today. And then pull to the end, so you get towards closer to the knot, and you have your knot instead of going 1, 2, 3, trying to make a big knot. Okay, so that is. I just kind of crease them together, so it's all like one piece instead of 2 separate pieces, so it's easier to sew. So next step is you're gonna have your thumb thimble. Then you're gonna take the 3 of the pieces of leather, and you're gonna find. Basically, you're gonna take what side you're gonna side is the good side for you. I'm gonna make the shiny side my good side. So you got one that looks like a P or a B, and a one with a curve on it. So what you're gonna do is find the right side, and you're gonna match 2 good sides together, put them together like that, and you are going to sew at this point in time the palm area. So you're gonna sew from approximately, let's say about 1/2 inch, where you'll see like there's a big curve from the edges. So just where the curve starts, then you're going to sew with doing a whip stitch all around the edges to this point, but you're going to also mold it to the bottom piece. And the idea when you're doing whip stitch, especially with these needles, is to make sure your whip stitch edges are about 1/4 inch, and they're kind of deep but far apart. Close ones are not going to work because of the needle. It'll make your material weaker, and you don't want that. You want to just make sure it's like kind of like a pinky width apart, like 1/2 inch all the way around, and you'll kind of get the idea. So what you're going to start is you can put your needle on. This will help push it through and pull it out. Otherwise I would use a pliers, but this works phenomenally well. Usually do right to left, whatever feels easier for you, because the outside is going to be other way. Line up the edges on the outside. Try to make sure that the 2 corners meet, and you can always move around, because the more it's closer together you'll have, that's where you get the spacing. So grab the needle and there we go. So just going to, and then when your first stitch, you're going to do like a knot stitch. Press in, push with your thumb, and you can use this to grab and pull. And the idea is also keep your stitches tight. So you got in there and there. Well, I think that's hard to grab. So here you're going to go somewhat close to the first one, but not too close because you will cut the threads. So just come close. And then if you notice your material, the leather will move and stuff, it will also stretch, so just kind of be aware and just constantly try to keep them together, even. And then I also wrap that around once and pull through. And then even just kind of give it a tight, you'll hear a little eek noise. That means it's a little tighter than normal, which is great, which you want. So making sure that these are even, and you can do about there. So it's like a couple centimeters. Push through and pull. And then you see if I'm getting close to the thumb bottom part of it and it's shifting, like when it's higher and lower, it's totally fine. All you gotta do is just pinch them together and it adjusts as you're going along. You see I'm getting close to the edge here, the bottoms, and they're not really lining up. That's fine. You just have to just get close. Okay, so I know what I'm gonna do. So basically, when you get to the edge here, this is where you're gonna kind of bunch it up here, so you have a little curve thing here. And this is to the point where you have to measure this point to go on all the way down here. So it's just moving it and lining it up. And just doing one stitch at a time. And usually towards the end you get the last little point as possible. And then you also tie it off there with the knot. And then it didn't hit directly, so even though it's open, I just adjust it like a nudge. Try to get more of it to go in the end. Just watch your fingers, like so. And then I also 1, 2. And then you already got your knot in there, so it is secure. So then from there you just snip it. Small, it's fine. And so now you have 2 pieces sewn together, and that little round little tabby thing turns into your thumb. So it's So now the next step is to first we're going to turn this inside out, and then we're going to sew from this edge all the way around to that edge. I usually turn the thumb inside out first, like properly, when I sew, so then it's easier when we flip it. It's not harder to turn inside out. Oh, I forgot my thumb. A really good tool is for helping turn it out is a wooden spoon for the thumb part, but I forgot my wooden spoon today. This way also shows you when you turn it inside out whether or not how tight your stitches are. Okay, we're gonna leave it like that. You can do more stretching of it later. So then now you have the bottom part of the mitt, like so. So the next one, have to change threads because this is still too small to go around the complete edge. Okay, so the next part is basically putting the glove together. So you're going to take the next third piece, which is a flat long one. So this is the top. Then you're going to place it against the two good sides matching together. So top, bottom. And when sewing these always move around. So it's best to try to keep them close together when you are sewing because they will stretch. So that's why I gave you sewing clips. And usually I put them to line up ledges close as possible there. You can click it anyway. And then where the two top meet. Then I usually have, you start here matching, right? Then you just, since where the thumb is, you're going to kind of push that in to where the two sides meet. And then I usually put a clip there. You line up the two edges and you'll see already that there's a gap in here. That's for your arm, which is what you want. And you start the same way doing you can do this straight knot or double. So just remember, you know, when you're sewing, try to make sure that they're all pretty close to level, placed together, and they're not too far off. 2 centimeters apart, I guess. Quarter-inch. And the idea, if you have deeper stitches coming in, the width inside is going to be smaller. So the closer to the edge, the more wiggle room you have in your glove. So since you're pretty close to this side, you can just move the thing to the other side. Line it up. And what I'm just doing is making sure this one measure up here, then this one will go to follow it through. So I'm just sewing just like normal, edge to edge. I'm making sure the thumb's pushed in, and you're going to go to hit for the next marker. This one can be a little difficult, but there we go. So then you're getting this little booming, so that's fine. You just account for it. It could have been down here too, so you just keep it. So I took this one off, and just to be sure, you can even just use a second clip to make sure the edge stays pretty close, because your hand can shift it some more. And then you're on the final run. You take the clip off since it's hindering your sewing. So we're almost to the end. A couple more stitches. Take those off. And then you just adjust more. And then sew. Ouch. So on the very last one, you're going to do the double wraparound for the knot. Down. Oh, I should watch your fingers. So 1, 2, push through and pull. And ta-da, you finished the outside of the net. So you just cut. Yeah, that's good. Now, your job is to turn it right side out. so it's right side out. And now you take the right side, or corresponding glove side you're doing. It's not that hand, so it'll be this hand. And it's gonna stay with the inside, like the rough, dark ones on the outside, because you want the inside to be the good side, because that's what you're gonna see when you open up the mitt, and you're gonna be putting your hand in the good side versus the outside. So you can put your hand in. I find it easy to put your hand in, and then slide your hand into the glove to place the lining inside the mitt. And just pull out. And then you'll see it's either slightly matching with the leather, or it's slightly higher. There's two ways you can do with it. One, you can slightly leave it like that, or you can trim it. And I'm gonna pull my hand out, go from there. And then you're going to try to line up the two seams together. And this is where your clips are going to kind of come in handy. Yeah, so when you pull it apart, the excess kind of disappears, which is fun, which is great. So you can cut. So the final step you're going to be doing is the fur, but you're going to have to cut the fur with the exact knife down the line, and it's really simple to do. So just go along. There's a couple hard parts, just you'll hear it. Just go like, don't go straight down, because you'll take out your table. Okay, so this is where the messy part comes in. You're just going to run your fingers along the edges to get the excess hair that you just cut. And then if you use the scissors, you'd be cutting all that extra hair there, and it would be all over the place, and even in your nose, and you don't want that. Okay, we are on the last aspect of doing one side of the mitten, which is attaching the top of the trim or fur. Basically, the length you need is basically to go around the width of your cuff, for the cuff. You're going to have extra, so you will have to cut the rest off. The width of the thing, it can vary on personal likes, just based on the years of experience. 2.5 to 2 inches is plenty. Some like a little more. It all depends how much rabbit fur you have. So it goes on like bias tape. You're going to put the inside to, like, of the fur part, the good side, inside the mitt, and then you're going to flip it over after you get done with stitching the whole area of this. So you can use the clips again. And then I also look at if there's a pattern on the fur, which side you want down to be most, and which part you want to whip stitch. So this has the most, so I'm going to put this side going down. So, and usually when you start, I do start from the middle of the palm instead of doing the top part, so people don't see your stitching. So we're starting in the middle here, and then you line it with the top. So you got the fur, the fleece, and then the leather. So now I just take the leather clip, you move around, then where you have the clip, yeah, that's where you just clip it there. Move it around, follow the length, width of the cuff, and you can smooth the fur down so you can see between the total three layers, and so it's even. I overlap right now of the fur just so I have enough. So just in case it moves, I have enough. You can cut the excess, but it's your choice. Leave a little. So this is, and when you're cutting, be careful. This is just by eye. You're just going to take little snags. It's hard to see. Doesn't take much to cut. Or here you could just use the scissors too, it's your choice. But I'm just trying to get less. One little skin. Ugh. There you go. Alright. So you have it all inside. Then you take very May. Alright, so use this, and then if you run out, then you could use the remainder of the first one, your choice. It should. Okay, so I unhooked the end, and I'm gonna try to start in the middle. Again, do yourself a little knot. And that stitching is the same as everything else, 1/4 inch deep, 1/4 inch wide. And you go through all three doing a whip stitch. Okay, there's my thimble. There it is. Thimble. Just for safety, I'm gonna just put that back in. Okay, so needle, so 1/4 inch. You can start right on this inside the tip and go through, push through. One, two. So you wrap around twice for that knot. I like to do that. Okay. Okay, and then we go around. Try not to get the fur caught in your sinew. It's a little frustrating, but just do what you can do. And when you get to the corners, the edges here, I usually try to go one before and then try to open it more and then try to get on the other side so it's not so thick you don't go through all three. Like you'll a curl and you'll see 1, 2, 3 layers. Try to just omit it and go just for 1, 2. So much easier when you don't.
So we are getting low on string, so I'm going to do one more and then I'm going to switch to the new one. And then I'm just going to do 1, 2. So I got my knot. And then put that. Let's see if we just do it this way. And do the next one. So we did it almost halfway with that remaining piece. Voila. And we're ready to go again. You know you're getting close when you start getting your fur caught in your string. Okay, since we're getting close to the corner again, I'm just gonna release the stem, readjust it, and put it closer to the corner. Stretch and repin. And pinch. And so, going through all 3 of these. Okay. Now, we're towards the last quarter, and press down. And re-clip. Okay. There we go. Okay, we're towards the end. We have maybe about 1, 2, 3 more stitches to where it ends. So you just fold it in there. I say 1 more stitch and readjust. And then we're going to do the knot 1, 2, wrap around twice. And then you pull tight. Now you are at the end of the first piece and the second piece. So now you can pull it out. So you have it pulled out like this. And then you have the two pieces that are not sewn together. They're the end pieces. So you're gonna have to cut, and then you're gonna have to sew them together so they complete a circle. Okay, so from here, it's easy. You look at where you first started. You can just use scissors. This is the easiest part here, and just try to follow. And then you're going to take the other piece, the end piece there, and you're going to make sure they match. I'm just going to cut this a piece just a little so it'll be easier to sew, because the fur part is a little a blind cut. All right, so now you are going to push in the excess at the ends, so where you just get it's a nice clean edge, and you are going to sew them together. This part would be way easier than going through the leather and fleece. So, but it's a quick, nice little so it's just a little whip stitch. And I'm going to do one more, and then you're going to also tie it with a knot. So you're just going to wrap 1, 2, and pull it through. And tighten, and voila, you are done. So you snip it, and all I do is flip it out. And you can either, your choice to leave this like as is, or you can glue it down. Just make sure you have a water base glue, because if it gets wet then the water won't unattach it. Or you can tack it down with the sinew at the back and the front, and then on the side, so it doesn't curl up. But most of the time it'll stay just like this. So this is a completed buffalo leather rabbit fur trim glove, and now you just got to do the second mitt, and then you'll be completely done. And you can also decorate these on your own. You could wood burn these. You could use Cricut and put a HTV on there, or the other way is long ways. If you had a beaded pattern, you could bead it on before you put it all together. But it's your choice, and I really hope you enjoyed making these leather mittens. So I hope you enjoyed the workshop. And they're really warm, so I hope you also get great use out of them. Thank you and have a great day.